Hey everyone, Rob Golfi here with REMAX, the Golfi team. I got Conrad Zerini with REMAX Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, Super Broker, and Brian Hogbin, Mission 35 Mortgages, Super Mortgage Man. Hey, if you want a better, what's that? Mortgages better than the bank, give Brian a call. Okay, guys, listen, we only got 15 minutes here. Conrad,
let's do it.
You went to Inman. And Inman is the guy's last name. This is a thing for realtors. I've been there a few times. It's a great thing to go to. You learn a lot of stuff. Any feedback from that?
Biggest attendance ever. They got nearly 4,000 people. Everybody was like, and you could just tell like people are really searching for what's going to happen, right? Everybody wants to see what's going to happen in 2024. So they had a parade of CEOs and different tech people and just kind of giving tidbits of what they feel is going to happen in 2024. The big story there was AI, artificial intelligence, and how to use that in your business. And as a matter of fact, of all the groups, of all the avatar groups, which would be like mortgage people, bankers, doctors, lawyers, whatever, real estate agents were the number one to be on ChatGPT and to adopt AI. Number one avatar
of any category of business. No kidding. Hey, see, realtors know how to freaking adapt fast. That's it. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anything else? I know some of the big speakers there. I know what's his name? Ryan Serhan was speaking for a bit there. And any other big names there that maybe
the guy from the agency. Maurizio. But Maurizio, look, and I gotta post some stuff. Like Maurizio just came from Dancing from the Stars, right? He was on it and he got to the second round. So he comes on, he does this little cha-cha thing. I tell you, it was like, no, just do not, right? You know what I mean? Sometimes people they get into their heads too much, right? Yeah. And it was an embarrassing like 30 seconds for sure.
No kidding.
But
kidding.
You know what I was disappointed in? I found all the executives. If you ask them, like, what do you see? What do you see in 2024? What do you see like in 5 years? They couldn't answer. Answers like just be positive. Be your authentic self. I must have heard that 1,000 times. I said if there was a drinking game about be your authentic self, we would all been hospitalized by 11 a.m. rather, because they said it over and your value. Articulate your value. I was like, oh my God, enough of that. But when you sift through all that, there's some really good nuggets. And and I think some of the things like with AI, I think I want to adopt, and we're going to be talking about them with agents and yourself too, Rob. So
that's
some good
awesome.
Stuff there.
That's awesome. How are you finding? I know that a lot of agents in the U.S. Left the business just because they struggled in 2023. Yeah. Is that the same in Canada, or like? I mean, it just seems there's a lot of always new realtors coming on board. I don't think But are we finding agents leaving the business because of that?
No, not as much as you think, because the ends, like the actual commission amounts that the Americans make versus Canadians, because of the values of properties. But I will tell you a fun fact. Today, I'm going to be in St. Catharines. Believe it or not, top 10 listings on our website were all Niagara, except for one. One was Milton. The rest was all Niagara. So it is a flight to affordability. And that's what they said in the U.S. too. It's a flight to affordability. And luxury, it's affordable luxury. So it better be full of value. Okay?
It's got to have the bells and whistles. It's got to be good value. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was here just trying to get the struggles and everything. I've been going with the Burlington office and everything. We're getting to the finish line. Oh my God, and just trying to manage that. We're almost there. Next week, we're probably 95%, just little minor stuff and things like that.
When's the opening?
What's that?
When's the opening?
Yeah, well, we're just getting together with the agents that live in Burlington and everything like that on my team, just kind of showing them what we've done and everything. But we'll have something for sure. We'll have something. Cool. I'm gonna wait till spring because we need to get the parking lot done and everything. And they want just the way the city.
It's looking great. It looks great.
It's getting there. It's getting there. So in the newspaper, there was an article. It says Toronto could implement new speculation tax on foreign home buyers starting next year. Holy smokes! Pretty soon, if you buy a house, they're not going to even buy a house. They're going to go to a different country if they're looking to speculate in this country.
Well, that's the thing too, because in the U.S. inventories are so low that now agents are really looking how to sell. Like people have money, but they don't want to get hosed, right? Right.
No
So they're
kidding.
saying now the amount of international acquisitions is staggering through agents that are in Miami selling in South America and selling in Europe. So that's the next frontier, right?
It's like over here, like what Toronto alone right now, land transfer tax is doubled in everywhere else. So if you're buying $1 million home, the land transfer tax is $16,475. Okay. So you add that. Okay. Now speculation tax, 10%. And that is $100,000. Okay. So you're already in for $116,475. Now they have the vacant tax. That's everywhere in Ontario, or is, I think, am I right? Is that the 1%? The vacant tax?
It's municipality by municipality.
Okay,
right? Yeah.
All right.
But the non-resident is all over Ontario. Yes.
Oh, the non-resident, the non-resident tax, the 25% that they're proposing.
Yeah.
So on $1 million house, it's $250,000. Who the hell? Like, there's no way. Is there enough of non-residents? I mean, that'll make him that much. They say it's going to make him $15 million in, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a year. But is there enough non-resident that they can earn that? Like $15 million doesn't seem a lot of money. Like it's very small percentage.
I don't think it's a revenue grab as much as it is a supply issue, right? Because like you're looking at, if I'm investing money, I'm already underwater 25%. If I want to put money in Canada now, if I'm a foreign buyer, I'm underwater 25, 30, 35%. And not to mention currency rate or risk there. I think they're just firmly putting the door down saying, we don't want any foreign money coming in here because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? But they let up on residential land, and they let up on commercial land, like mixed use land. So they pulled that away because there is a lot of foreign investment pouring into development land. But I think what they don't realize is, look, Canadians used to move 3 to 5 years, then it went to 5 to 7 years. We're probably closer to 7 to 10. And maybe Brian, you may see a little differently. But because of all this, it's so expensive to move. They don't realize that. Because it's so expensive to move, I move less. That means less inventory goes on the MLS. Yeah. That means prices go up. So this is a very counterintuitive situation we're in.
Yeah, the price move parity is changing too, because it used to make sense to move up $100,000 or maybe $200,000, but now with prices where they are, when you take into consideration the real estate cost, land transfer tax, moving costs, mortgage breakage penalty, you got to be moving up almost $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to not have just a lateral move where where you're losing money.
Oh, yes. No kidding. And I mean, that was the other article, how expensive it is to move. And you're right, every 7 years. So ever since I've moved, probably I went from Chatham Street, and that was my first. I was there only 18 months, but then I went to Grimsby. I was 5 years in the second one, 10 years in the third one. 14 years in the fourth one, and I'm in my fifth house in 35 years. So that works out almost to seven. I guess if you divide that up, I'm not sure what that works out to every 7 years or so. Yeah. So, and that's what the average is. And usually realtors are not big movers.
No, they're not.
They
we don't want to tell these people.
No, we want them to move. You know what? My wife does all the packing. I just okay, how's everything going? I'm so busy. I go, honey, we get to move in that big house because I worked so hard. I worked so hard to get in that big house. Let's go. But you're gonna have to pack because I have to work extra hard. I can't be home. But you're right. But the cost of moving, is expensive now compared even compared to 10 years ago, even 20 years, 20 years ago, guys, I remember we were doing $1,000 deposits, $500 deposits in some cases. Yeah. It was, and then moving from, and again, like you said, every 7 years is the average, probably 6 to 7 years, the average person moving. And it's how long do you think people will stay longer in their houses because of the cost?
because they can't afford it. The non-recoverables, with all that land transfer tax, double land transfer tax, all that moving expenses and everything, they have to think twice, about it. Even if mortgage rates drop, there's still that affordability piece that rears its ugly head. Look, and the spinoff of residential real estate is so mammoth that's going to now trickle into the economy, because if people are moving less, all those services are being utilized yet less. Yeah. And that shrinks the economy. And I think part of why Canada's in the situation we're in with this flat economy, like they call it it's at zero growth month over month, is because, a lot of the spinoff and a lot of what we do around here in Canada is, residential real estate. People renovating and buying stuff and all that kind of stuff. When that doesn't happen, then, it just kind of stagnates.
Well, and I think what we'll see too on that note is, because if they're not moving, a lot of people do the calculation now and end up saying, okay, if I got to pay real estate, land transfer, and all these costs, what does 70, 60, 80 grand get me in my house? Right. So instead of me picking up and moving.
And if you move, regardless, even though you think you picked the right house and you're moving in, you are still going to spend money doing something to that house, either buying new furniture, renovating some rooms, painting. You do spend money regardless. You want to make it your own. And it's just the way it is. So just on another note, Tiff Macklin says there's a 40% chance that the first drop in interest may happen in April. So chances are it's probably going to happen in April. If he's saying 40% chance.
I think, you know what, everybody, it was no news basically that they stayed flat this week. That's what everybody anticipated with the rates. I think though, because, inflation came out hot for the December number, but everybody thought it was. I just think it'll be interesting in February when the January inflation number comes out, because I think it's going to be in the dumps. I think it's going to be down. It's going to be lower. And I think you definitely will see it I think you'll see it in April, but I actually think there's still a conversation where it'll be in March, because this kind of stuff happens so quick.
They need to get things rolling more faster to get some more houses built. There's no doubt about it.
But the wild card is the U.S. So the wild card, November, they said there are going to be 3 cuts. They said in November, December, 3 cuts for sure in 2024. They ain't saying that anymore. They're saying maybe 2 cuts. And they're talking about summertime. So got to remember too, like, are we going to stay in lockstep or what? Because if we start to bring it down, like our dollar goes in the toilet. You know what I'm saying, right? So it's going to be interesting what occurs. And then if our dollar drops, then inflation goes higher, and then we're in this vicious cycle. So I don't know. I used to be bullish on that March, April thing. But when I heard the U.S. said, no, it's only going to be 2 cuts, you got to really keep an eye on that U.S. It's a very interesting phenomenon now. And the bond's been kind of jittery the last while, right?
Yeah, because the fixed rates actually went up, right? Yes, so we saw and that's the future saying, we think that it might be a little bit longer. So, and that's why it's important to make sure that when you're looking at interest rates right now, that 5-year rate, when it drops based on the speculation, and probably whenever it does go down, you'll probably see the 5-year rate dip a bit. But then it's probably going to hold steady and go up again. So for anybody that's looking and timing things, make sure you lock in a rate. Lock in a rate. You don't need to exercise it, but hold it for 120 days, because those are like, they're like the heart monitor for someone who's having a panic attack. It's going up and down.
And the good thing is, if you have a mortgage with what do they say? 70% of the mortgages in Canada right now are up for renewal this year.
Yeah, what?
RBC said 14% of their inventory. RBC, 14%.
14% of their inventory. So the key thing is, if you want
this year,
if you're up to date on your income tax and everything else, just tell your bank, I'm shopping it. They may drop what is it? What's the most they'll drop for you as a client? Half a point, a quarter point?
You know what? A lot of times they'll see what you bring in, right? Like, I hate how they play the game. They'll drop a little bit or a little bit, right? Like, I think you need a professional negotiator to go in there. You need someone that actually has options. Like, for brokers, we're able to leverage different offers against the banks.
You know how you go to the bank, say, listen, I've got my income tax up to date. I'm paid up. I'm shopping. What do you want to do before I start calling other people? Just tell them you're up to date on your Revenue Canada and everything, and they'll go, "Holy shit, this guy's done his homework." That's it. Oh shit.
Good advice.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week, and we'll have a great weekend, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.